Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Miss English Buddy. Today's topic is very special and very practical. We are talking about how to answer questions in English confidently. Leo, tell me honestly, when someone asks you a question in English, how do you feel?
Emma, I feel exactly what many learners feel. My mind goes blank. I understand the question, but when it's time to answer, my confidence disappears. Words hide somewhere, grammar starts fighting in my head, and I become scared of making mistakes. That fear stops many people from speaking.
That is so true, Leo. And if you are listening right now and you feel the same, don't worry, you are not alone. Confidence in English does not come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing how to respond, even when your English is simple.
Yes, and not is a very important point. Many learners think, first I will become perfect, then I will speak. But Emma, perfection never comes first. Speaking comes first, and confidence grows slowly.
Exactly. So today, step by step, we will help our listeners learn how to answer questions calmly, clearly, and confidently. We will start from very basic questions and slowly move to longer answers. We will share examples, small stories, and easy tricks that anyone can use.
And we promise one thing, no difficult words, no confusing grammar, and no pressure. Just simple English and clear thinking.
Let's start with the first step. Step 1 is understanding the question. Many people panic before they even fully listen.
That is true. Sometimes the question is easy, but because of fear, the listener stops listening after the first few words.
Exactly. For example, if someone asks, "What do you do?" many learners panic. But this question is very common. It simply means, "What is your job?" or "What do you study?"
So the first habit we must build is this. Listen fully, don't rush, and don't answer before the question ends.
Yes, and here's a small trick. When someone asks you a question in English, silently repeat the question in your mind. This gives your brain time.
That's a great trick. For example, someone asks, "Where are you from?" In your mind, you repeat, "Where am I from?" Then you answer.
Exactly. And your answer can be very simple. "I'm from Pakistan." That's it. You don't need a long story unless they ask more. Many learners think short answers are bad, but short answers are not bad. They are clear and confident.
Very true. Confidence is not about length, it is about clarity.
Now let's talk about step 2, buying time. Emma, this is one of my favorite tricks.
Mine too. Buying time means using small English phrases to give yourself thinking time.
For example, if someone asks you a question and you need a few seconds, you can say, "That's a good question," or "Let me think for a moment."
These sentences are very powerful. They make you sound confident, not weak.
Yes, and native speakers use them all the time. Let's give more examples for our listeners. If someone asks, "Why do you want this job?" you can start with, "That's an interesting question. I want this job because..."
See, you didn't answer immediately, but you still sounded confident.
Exactly, and this helps your brain relax.
Step 3 is using simple structures. Emma, many learners try to use very difficult grammar.
And that creates stress. Simple sentences are your best friends.
For example, instead of saying, "I have been aspiring to acquire this position due to my long-term professional objectives," you can say, "I want this job because it matches my goals."
Simple, clear, confident.
Now, Emma, let's talk about a very common fear, making mistakes.
Ah, yes, the biggest enemy of confidence.
Many learners think, if I make a mistake, people will laugh. But in real life, most people don't care.
And many people actually respect you for trying.
Let me share a small story. When I first started speaking English, I once said, "I am agree." It was wrong. The correct sentence is, "I agree," but the person understood me.
And that is the key point. Communication, not perfection.
Exactly. Later, I learned the correct form, but if I had stayed silent, I would never improve.
That's a very important lesson. Mistakes are not failures, they are teachers.
Now, let's move to step 4, answering in structure.
Yes, structure gives confidence. Even a simple structure can help.
A very easy structure is short answer plus small reason plus example.
Let's show this with an example. Question: do you like learning English?
Short answer, yes, I do.
Reason: because it helps me communicate with people.
Example: for example, I can watch videos and understand them.
When you put this together, your answers sound strong and confident.
And remember, you don't need to do this every time. Use it when you want to sound more detailed.
Now, Leo, many listeners ask us, what if I don't understand the question?
Very good question. And the answer is simple. Ask politely.
Yes, there is no shame in asking someone to repeat or explain.
You can say, sorry, could you please repeat the question? Or could you explain it in a simple way?
These sentences show confidence and honesty.
Let's move to step 5. Practice with common questions.
This is very important. Confidence grows with practice.
Some very common questions are, what do you do? Where are you from? What are your hobbies? Why are you learning English?
If you prepare answers for these questions, you will feel ready.
Emma, let's practice one together. I will ask you.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you do?
I am a teacher and I help students learn English step by step.
Perfect. Simple and clear.
Now I will ask you, why are you learning English?
I am learning English because it helps me grow in my career and communicate with more people.
Excellent. See how easy that was?
Yes, and confidence comes from this kind of preparation.
Dear listeners of Miss English Buddy, remember one thing today. You don't need perfect English to answer confidently. You need calm thinking, simple words, and practice.
In the next part, we will go deeper. We will talk about answering long questions, interviews, unexpected questions, and how to stay calm under pressure.
So stay with us, keep practicing, and remember, confidence is a skill, and skills can be learned.
Thank you for listening, and we'll continue very soon.
Welcome back, dear listeners of Miss English Buddy. In part 1, we talked about fear, simple answers, and basic confidence. Now in part 2, we will slowly go deeper. Remember, confidence does not come in one day. It comes step by step. Today, we will focus on how to extend your answers without fear. Many learners can answer in one line, but they stop there because they don't know how to continue. This part is for them. We will show you how to add more ideas in a calm and natural way. You don't need difficult words. You just need a clear path in your mind. Think of your answer like walking on a road. You don't jump to the end. You take small steps, one sentence at a time. That is how confident speakers are made, not by magic, but by practice and clear thinking.
That example of walking on a road is very good, Emma. Many learners think fluent speakers speak fast because they are smart. But the truth is, fluent speakers speak slowly in their mind. They know what comes next. Today, I want listeners to understand that extending an answer does not mean speaking non-stop. It means adding one more clear sentence. For example, if someone asks, "What is your hobby?" You say, "My hobby is reading." That is already a complete answer. To extend it, you can add, "I like reading because it relaxes my mind." Then one more sentence. "I usually read in the evening." See, 3 simple sentences, no pressure. This method builds confidence because your brain knows what to do next. And when your brain is calm, your voice becomes confident automatically.
Exactly, Leo. Now let's talk about a very common situation when someone asks a why question. Why questions make learners nervous because they feel they must give a big explanation. But the truth is, even a small reason is enough. For example, why are you learning English? You don't need a long speech. You can say, I am learning English because it is useful. Then add one more sentence. It helps me in my studies and work. And if you want to continue, add an example. For example, I can understand videos and talk to new people. This is a safe pattern. Answer, reason, example. When you practice this again and again, your confidence grows naturally because you always know what comes next.
I want to share something personal here. When I was learning English, I always stopped after one sentence. People thought I was shy, but actually I was scared. Then a teacher told me, "Leo, just add one more sentence." That advice changed everything. I didn't try to be perfect, I just added one more idea. Slowly, one sentence became two, two became three. This is why I tell listeners of Miss English Buddy, don't aim to be fluent today. Aim to be one sentence better than yesterday. That is real progress. Confidence is not loud speaking. Confidence is calm speaking, where you are not afraid of silence and not afraid of mistakes.
That is such an important point. Now let's move to another key skill, using simple linking words. These words help your answers flow smoothly. Words like and, because, so, also, and for example are very powerful. You don't need advanced connectors. Simple ones are enough. For example, I work as a student and I am learning English. Or, I like my job because it helps me learn new things. When you use these small words, your answer sounds connected and confident. Practice using just one linking word in your answer. Don't try to use many. One is enough. This keeps your English natural and easy to understand.
Yes, and I want to add one more thing. Many learners think silence is bad, but silence is okay. If you stop for 1 second to think.
Welcome back to Miss English Buddy, everyone. If you've been listening to part 1 and part 2, you already know that we are slowly building your confidence step by step. Today is part 3, and honestly, this is the part that scares most English learners. We're talking about answering unexpected questions. You know those moments when someone suddenly asks you something in English and your mind goes completely blank. Your heart beats faster, your hands feel cold, and even simple words disappear. If that sounds familiar, don't worry at all, because today, Leo and I are going to sit with you, talk calmly, and show you exactly how to handle these moments with confidence, even if your English is not perfect.
That's right, Emma. And before we go deeper, let me tell you something very important, especially for our listeners on Miss English Buddy. Unexpected questions are not a test of your intelligence. They are not a test of your worth. They are simply moments of communication. Many learners think, if I cannot answer quickly, people will think I'm stupid. That thought is completely wrong. Even native English speakers pause, think, and sometimes say, let me think. So today we will learn how to stay calm, how to buy time, how to understand the question, and how to answer in a simple but confident way.
Exactly, Leo. And friends, remember one golden rule that we keep repeating on Miss English Buddy. Confidence does not mean perfect English. Confidence means you are not afraid to speak, even with mistakes. So let's start from the very beginning. First, what do we mean by unexpected questions? These are questions that you did not prepare for. For example, you go to a meeting and suddenly someone asks, "What do you think about this idea?" Or you meet a foreigner and they ask, "Why did you choose this career?" Or maybe in an interview, they ask something totally different from what you practiced. These questions surprise you, and that surprise creates fear.
And fear is the real enemy here, not English. Let me share a small story. A few years ago, I met a very intelligent student. His grammar was good, his vocabulary was strong, but whenever someone asked him a sudden question, he would freeze. One day I asked him, "Why do you stop speaking?" He said, "Because I want to give the perfect answer." That's when I realized the problem. He was trying to be perfect instead of being clear. So today, we will train your mind to choose clarity over perfection.
That's such an important point. So let's break this topic into small, easy steps. Step 1 is controlling your reaction. When someone asks you an unexpected question, your first reaction is usually panic. Your brain says, "Oh no, I'm not ready." Instead of panicking, you need to train yourself to pause calmly. And yes, pausing is allowed. You don't need to answer immediately. You can take a breath, you can smile, you can even say a short sentence to buy time.
And this is where many learners feel shy. They think pausing is bad, but in reality, pausing makes you sound thoughtful. For example, you can say, "That's an interesting question," or "Let me think about that for a moment." These sentences are not cheating, they are tools. Native speakers use them all the time. So on Miss English Buddy, we encourage you to learn these tools and use them confidently.
Let's practice this idea with an example. Imagine someone suddenly asks you, "What do you think is the biggest problem in today's society?" Now that's a big question, right? If you panic, your mind will go blank. But if you pause and say, that's a deep question, let me think, your brain gets time to organize thoughts. That one sentence can change everything.
Absolutely. Now let's move to step 2, which is understanding the question clearly. Sometimes the reason we panic is not because the question is difficult, but because we are not sure what the person is asking. And here's good news. It is completely okay to ask for clarification. You can say, "Could you please explain the question?" Or, "Do you mean?" Asking for clarification does not make you weak. It makes you smart.
Yes, and this is very important for learners. Many people are afraid to say, "I didn't understand," but misunderstandings are worse than asking again. On Miss English Buddy, we want you to feel safe with English. English is not here to judge you, it's here to help you connect. So if someone asks, "How do you see yourself in 5 years?" and you're confused, you can say, "Do you mean my career goals or my personal life?" That's a confident move.
Now let's talk about step 3, which is thinking in simple ideas, not full sentences. This is a big mindset change. When an unexpected question comes, don't try to create a perfect answer in your head. Instead, think in small points. For example, question, "Why do you like learning English?" Your mind doesn't need a long paragraph. Just think, job, confidence, communication. These are keywords. Then you can slowly turn them into sentences.